Welcome to another episode of our show, Storytime with Becky. Today we're going to be learning about David and the big giant Goliath. So let's start off to say, as we all know, the Philistine people were enemies of God, and the Israelites were God's people. But the Philistines were very mean to the Israelites, and they tortured them and they wanted to kill them. But the Philistines had a big army, and in this army, they had a big giant soldier, and his name was Goliath. He was as tall as the tallest building that you could see, and he was as strong as 10,000 men, and he was undefeated. No one could defeat him. So the Philistine army wanted to fight King Saul's army, or the Israelite army. Goliath said to the Israelite army, "Come get your biggest soldier to fight me, and if you defeat me, me and my men shall all be slaves to your people. But if I defeat your strongest soldier, all of your people must be slaves to me and my army." The Israelite people were so scared. Who could stand up to this big giant? And they had no choice but to accept. The soldiers were so afraid and didn't want to fight. But two soldiers had a brother named David, and David was in charge of bringing them food. When David brought his brothers food on this day, he overheard Goliath's challenge to the Israelite army. And he said to his brothers, "I'm not afraid of Goliath. So what, he's big and he's tall. I'm not afraid." His brothers laughed. They couldn't help but laugh at him. David was, after all, their younger brother. Could you imagine your younger brother trying to face the toughest bully at school? It was unheard of. So they laughed, and they brought him to King Saul to talk about this. King Saul told him, "Young man, you are just much too small to fight this big giant. You couldn't possibly handle him on your own. I have bigger men than you that can take him. They're much taller, they're much stronger, they have had more experience in my army, and they know how to fight. You, young boy, you've never been in an army. You don't know how to fight." All David had to say to this was, "Don't worry, King. God will be on my side. I have faith that I can defeat this giant as long as I have faith in God, and God is on my side." So King Saul agreed. King Saul immediately gave him all of the armor he could find. But the armor was so big on David, it dragged him down. The breastplate was off to the side because it was so big, and the sword was loose and it wouldn't stay tightly because his waist was too small. Nothing would fit because he was such a small boy. But David stood before Goliath, and he saw him. But he knew that he didn't need the armor because he had God. So David took off all the unnecessary armor that would hold him back, and he went by a nearby stream, and he kneeled down and picked up 5 stones, and he tucked it into his pocket. He stood then before Goliath, and he said, "Goliath, I can defeat you." Goliath was shocked and astonished, but he couldn't help but laugh. Was this really the best the Israelite people could do for their people? To have such a little boy come and defeat such a big giant? Goliath pointed and laughed and said, "This is pathetic. There's no way this is your best soldier. I will defeat you like this. There's nothing you have on me that I can't defeat you." As soon as he said this, David pulled out 1 stone and pulled out his sling and swung the rock and hit Goliath right in the middle of the head. He hit his forehead, and this made Goliath fall back. David then took this opportunity to take out his sword and kill him. When the Philistine people saw this, they were amazed, because such a small boy had killed their biggest and toughest soldier, Goliath. No one believed that they could kill this soldier, but the smallest soldier that had the least experience and didn't even know how to fight killed this big giant. And this is the lesson we can learn from this story. It doesn't matter how small you are, or how little you are, or where you live, or what you look like, or how many friends you have. God can use all of us to help other people.
Here they come, the Philistines!
There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible giants in the sky.
He must be 6 cubits in a span tall. That's over 9 feet.
Who is that man? He is Goliath of Gath, the greatest champion of the Philistines. We have no one who can match his fighting power. Let the record show, I never wanted to be king in the first place.
Why have you come out to draw up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us.
I'd volunteer, your highness, but I'm so old. Maybe he'll agree to rock, paper, scissors.
I defy you, Israelites, and I defy your weak little god.
Dare he insult our God? But what are we going to do about it? We have no one who can fight this Goliath. We're all going to be slaves of the Philistines.
You Israelites are so small that when I squint, I can't even see you. Huh? Where did you go? I can't see you. Where did you go? Ha 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 ha! Will anyone fight me? Will you? Or you? Ha ha! Maybe you? Just as I thought. No one. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha!
Why is everyone just standing around and taking this? We can't let him talk to us like that.
In case you haven't noticed, Goliath is a rather scary individual. He's like one of those Chinese gymnast girls. He's been bred for this very moment.
Has everyone forgotten that God is on our side?
That would be great if God could come down from the heavens and fight this battle for us. But unfortunately, we need a human to fight Goliath.
Well, I, for one, am confident in God's power. I will battle Goliath myself.
You're just a kid, David. And besides, this is bigger than your little ego. The future of all Israel is at stake.
Then God will protect all of Israel. God has prepared me for this battle. Remember that time with the lion?
Flinging a rock at a cat and fighting a warrior are two very different things.
Thanks for your input. I'll take this up with King Saul.
I don't know. Just because you killed a lion.
It was a really big lion. It was threatening my flock.
Well, one thing's for sure. I can't go myself. I'm such a big target. You would have that one thing going for you. You're nice and small. But will my armor fit you?
Oh, I don't need armor. I've got my sling. And besides, I have God as my protection. I know it's anachronistic to say this, but I have a shield of faith and a helmet of salvation.
No, no good. Try on my armor.
It's a little big. I can barely see under the helmet. This is only going to get in the way.
It'll get in the way of the Philistine spear.
The God who saved me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will save me from the hand of this Philistine.
Be careful! That sword could have landed on my foot!
I don't care about your foot, King Saul. I care about the future of the people of Israel.
Surely you're not going to let that little boy go and fight Goliath. He'll be crushed, and we'll be slaves. If he fights as well as he sings, he may have a shot. Your Highness, music and war are two very different arts. Well, it's too late now. The giant is here.
What have you all been up to? I've been working out, practicing my killing maneuvers. Who wants to be killed? I ask for a man to fight, and they send me a little boy. What? Are we going to play rock, paper, scissors? You have no chance against Goliath.
I'm gonna make you Goliath down in your grave.
The witty little Israelite is going to kill me with puns.
Hey Goliath, do you want to learn some Hebrew?
Why not? I'm always looking to advance my knowledge.
The word's harag. It means to kill, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do to you.
You fooled me. I didn't realize you were going to make a threat.
Hey Goliath, Want to learn some more Hebrew?
That would be fascinating. You know, I was a linguistics minor at Gath U.
The word's moot. It means to die, which is exactly what's going to happen to you.
Fool me once, little Hebrew boy. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame. I'm gonna kill you.
Not with God on my side, you won't.
You have gone too far, little Israelite. Now I will not only kill you, but I will feed your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field.
You come to me with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord of hosts. Now all the world will know that there's a God in Israel.
Then I'll destroy you and your notion of this little God.
One more question, Goliath. Do you feel lucky?
You're the one who needs luck, relying on that invisible God of yours.
I think I'm gonna be sick. I should have just poisoned him.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Storytime with Becky. I'll see you soon. Have a good night.